Welcome to the Intuitive Eating and Body Positivity podcast. I'm Terry and I'll be talking about all things intuitive eating, body positivity and health at every size, and shaking off weight stigma, diet culture and food rules so that we can all have a better relationship with food and our bodies. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. We're into 2024. Exciting times, right? We were having a conversation at home yesterday, my daughter and I, and we were saying that it feels like it's been 2024 for ages. 2024 feels like a good number. And a few times I've thought about writing 2024, or I've had to write it for future plans and things like that. It feels natural. It feels like 2024 is good. It feels like a good number. And previous years, when I've written 2023, for example, 2022, 2021, it's all felt a little bit strange. But this doesn't. So I've got a good feeling about 2024. How about you? I hope you've got good plans. I hope you've got good things coming this year. And if you have no plans, that's all cool too. What I wanted to talk about was how we see 2024. A lot of people right now will be setting goals. New Year goals, New Year resolutions, all that sort of thing. I'm not about that. I am about my intentions for the year. So that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to tell you what my intentions are. And I know I haven't done that before. We have a talk at New Year about what the year's going to be and how you set your own intentions, I guess, for January, and how you avoid the New Year's resolutions around food and body image and stuff like that. How you avoid the new year, what? Oh, here we go. That's not changing this year, is it? I can still not say all the words that I need to say. What was I saying then? Oh, the new year, new me messages. We usually talk about how to avoid that, which is all good. But this year, I want to tell you what my intentions for the year are. And I'd like to see if they resonate with you. So I'm going to give you a real honest overview. I'm going to give you a real honest description of what my intentions for the year are. And then hopefully you can see some of them do feel the same to you. Some of them are not for you. Some of them might give you ideas for what you can do with your year going forward. But hopefully being open and honest about how I feel about the year and the changes that I'm going to make will help you to do yours as well. And help you to see that you can just set intentions for the year. You don't have to set big goals. You don't have to have all these markers and milestones that you have to hit. You can just choose what you want your year to look like and feel like. For me, it's all about improving, changing, developing, not new. This whole new year, new me thing. That's not for me. That's never been for me. I've never been, I say never. I have in the past fallen foul of the resolutions, shall we say. I have thought, right, now I'm going to diet. Now I'm going to lose that weight. Now I'm going to be better. Now I'm going to look different. Now I'm going to be fitter and healthier and all the other things that we promise ourselves at New Year. But for me, 2024 is about improving, not becoming a new person. And I've chosen a word for the year. This is a really good thing for you to do if you are interested in having a go at setting your own intentions for the year. Choose a word. You might see it quite a lot on social media. It seems to be quite a big thing this year. I do it every now and again for myself. I'll choose a word for the month or whatever, but I'm setting my word for the whole year. And my word for the year is intentional. And that's not because this is intentions. This is separate. This is my word for the year. So you might choose a word like authentic. That's one that I saw earlier today, which is great. Somebody said they wanted to be their authentic self. They wanted to be true to themselves, that sort of thing. You might choose something like strength. You might set the intention to be strong in certain areas of your life. You might choose something like honest or truthful. I mean, dig into your own morals and values. See what words you would give yourself as your morals, your chosen core values, and maybe start with one of those. Also, before I get into this proper I know that this is an intuitive eating and body confidence podcast. I know that. And I know that the things I talk about are not all going to fit that theme. But that's fine, because for you to be able to focus on your eating behaviors, the way you think about food, the way you behave around food, the way you think about your body, the way you feel in yourself, it's holistic, right? It's much, much more than just the actual food itself or just your body as what it looks like, for example. There are many, many things that feed into how you feel about yourself, how you behave around food, how you feel about your body, that sort of thing. So us talking about your intentions for the year, your goals, if you want to call them goals for the year, it all does feed in. If you're making changes to your life, if you're making changes to your headspace, whatever it affects for you, that is going to feed into how you feel with food and your body. So don't underestimate the power of working on other areas of your life and the changes that can bring about for your eating and your body confidence. So my word for the year is intentional. And there are lots of reasons why I've chosen that word. But it feels like the right time for me. It feels like the right time to start to be intentional about things. And one of the big things that I need to focus on this year is my health. And I know, we're trying not to do the new year, new me thing, right? This is not what it's about. My health is made up of lots of different aspects, as is yours, obviously. But my health is affected in lots of different ways. My physical health has been subpar, shall we say, for the past couple of years. And there's been some medical issues going on. It's been dragging on an awful long time. I am getting treatment, but now I need to be more intentional with how I approach that. It does feel like, for me, I've been sat waiting for somebody to fix it. Now, I need to be more proactive about making some changes for myself, making this happen alongside the other people who are going to help me. And for me, maximizing my health, my physical health, looks like lots of different things. It means a better focus on food. So I've literally just said to you that this is not all about food, isn't it? Haven't I? But this is important. You know, the food that I eat feeds into my health and well-being. It feeds into my physical health. And I know, because I've done the reflection on this, I know that I have not given my food enough focus. I have not been as intuitive in my eating as I should have been. I've let that slip. I have been, I don't want to say lazy about the food that I've been eating, because I think when you are in a space where your health isn't great, your motivation is low, that sort of thing, it's very difficult to put enough thought towards your food. It's very difficult to choose food that will have a real benefit and will be better for you, essentially, than picking the quick, the fast food, the easy to cook, that sort of thing. Now, there is definitely a place for these foods. There is no shame if you are not feeling capable of creating a meal, of prepping the vegetables, of cooking. If you just cannot bear the thought of it, there is no shame in that. For me, personally, I know that I need to put more focus in that. I know that I need to put more effort into my eating. And because I know that when I do that, I feel so much better. I know that my energy levels are better, and that's really important for me with all the physical stuff that I've got going on. I know that I feel more satisfied in my eating when I am eating a really nice home cooked meal, for example. There's lots of reasons why it's important for me to focus on food. And this is throughout the day. So I quite often rush my breakfast. I don't prepare a lunch properly. I just do what I can that's quickest in the moment in the short space of time that I give my meals. So it's no wonder that is contributing to my health. This is not to say that there is an ultimate link between food and health, right? There is no big moral high ground given to food with a health perspective. But I know for me, eating well, eating regular meals, giving myself the space and time to eat properly makes a huge difference. So I need to be intentional about my eating this year. I also need to be more intentional about my movement. I don't do enough movement. It's a fact. I do not do enough physically. Again, health issues have been at play. My motivation to move has been really low. It's not always been like that. I used to be so active. I used to be a pole dancer and I would be there 5 times a week. I, before that, used to do a lot of weight training. I would be in the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week. I love training when I have got something that I'm able to give my time and my energy and my focus to. I love it. I go all in. I'm very much an all or nothing person. So I go all in with my training. However, health issues come along. What happens when you don't feel well? You don't have the motivation to move. And I feel the effects of that. I feel the effects in my body. I feel the effects in my mobility, in my flexibility, in my strength, in my overall mental well-being. And so for me, I need to give my movement some more focus, some intention this year. Same with sleep. I've not given that enough focus. I have not given it enough attention. I have had a very poor evening routine before going to bed. I sleep badly and I don't really get up when I should in the morning. I know that I feel really good when I can get up and have possibly an hour to do things like some journaling and to have a cup of tea and just sit quietly before anybody else is up and moving. I love that time in the morning. But what I've been doing is going to bed later than I should be. I've been on my phone late. I then don't sleep well, which means then I don't want to get up in the morning. And also it's dark at the moment, isn't it? It's winter and that doesn't help. So I'm getting up later, then I'm rushing around. The knock-on effect is not good. And, this all contributes. It all contributes to how I feel about my health and my wellness and my ability to function in the day. So I am going to be more intentional about this. I am going to take action. I am going to do what I want to do and need to do in order to maximize my health this year. I'm going to be very intentional about that. And I'm going to take some steps forward that I know I should have taken for years and years and years. For example, my dental health is not good. If you are a long-term follower of this podcast, you will know that I do not have a good time at the dentist. And it's time to sort that out. It is fixable. I just need to take a different route. I need to seek help somewhere else. And I've today taken a step forward towards doing that. Today, I'm being intentional about making better a situation that is making life quite difficult for me. So I'm going to be really intentional about my health this year. So you see, that's not a new year, new me thing. That's just me acknowledging, reflecting on the last year, knowing that I'm physically not as good as I need to be. I don't mean peak physical fitness. What I mean is physically feeling good in my body. So there we go. That's a number one intention for me this year. Also, my mental health. I'm going to give that more focus. That's been on a slippery slope. And there are things that I can do to help that. There are definitely things I can do to make sure that my mental health is good. That doesn't need to be going out and finding a therapist and all that sort of thing. If that's what you need, then great, do that. But there's also lots of ways that you can improve and support your mental health. You know, things like going back to the movement, the sleep, things like that. It's really, really important with regards to mental health. So that's something that I'm going to be focusing on this year and taking better care of, because my mental health slides when I've been putting myself last for too long, you know, and I can recognize that. And I know when it's time to give myself space and take a step back. And I'm going to be more intentional about being proactive, making the time, making the space, helping myself when I need to do that. I don't know about you, but the space around me really affects that too. So I'm going to be more intentional this year about the space around me, the environment around me, what I surround myself with. Clutter drives me crazy. Always has done, always will do. But yet I quite easily can let my spaces get cluttered. And so decluttering, getting rid of the old stuff, doing things like clearing out makeup, old makeup, that sort of thing. It's really good for the soul to do that. Clothes. Clothes is another good example. I am putting clothes on my body that I like the feel of, that I like the look of, that doesn't make me focus on my body all day, every day, that doesn't make me feel bad about myself, that doesn't make me feel like I'm walking around in an old bin liner, or that are just so old that they really should go in the bin liner. You know, year after year, clothes go up into the attic, clothes come down out of the attic, clothes go up into the attic, clothes come down. When did you last treat yourself? When did you last buy yourself just one nice new piece of clothing? It's really important to be feeling good in what you're wearing, because then you feel good about yourself. You present yourself differently. You have more confidence. You just feel better about your day. And I'm going to be very much more intentional with what I allow for myself this year. Do I allow myself to dress in the stuff that I've had for a million years that probably went out with the ark, you know, or should have gone out with the ark? And I'm going to be very much more intentional about the stuff that I have around the house, the stuff that I have around my desk. There's so many areas where I need to have a good sort out and have things around me that bring me joy, that bring me just a really nice vibe. Energy. I'm going to be more intentional about my energy this year. The last couple of years, as I've already mentioned, have not been good for me energy-wise. And by that, I mean physical energy. And I also mean the energy around me, that I allow around me. Part of the clearing of the space and clearing of the clutter will really improve some of that energy. But overall, I've been really slack with allowing bad energy around me and allowing my energy levels to be sapped by that. So I'm being more intentional about that this year. More energy will go to the places where it should be going, and less energy will be going to the places that just drain the life out of me. I'm also going to be relaxing when I need to. I am terrible at working. Work. Do a day's work, have an evening meal, do some more work. I'll sit in front of the TV. I'll pretend I'm not working, but what am I doing? I'm working. And that needs to stop. It needs to stop because it serves nobody. It doesn't serve me, doesn't serve my family, doesn't serve you as a client, as a follower, as a podcast listener. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be more intentional about my energy, about where I give my energy, and about how I replenish my energy. How I fill my spoons back up. Do you know about that? Do you know about that analogy? This spoons theory. Have a look it up. Spoons theory, if you don't know about it. But, I'm just thinking, if I started with 10 spoons, I'm probably down to about 1 at the moment. I need to get those spoons back to 10. And that includes saying no and not overcommitting anymore. Saying no to being places. Saying no to spending time with people that I shouldn't spend time with. That I only spend time with because I feel like I should, or they might feel bad if I don't, or, I don't know why I feel like I have to, but I do. I need to say no to spending time doing things that are draining me and overcommitting. It's not good for my energy. It's not good for the energy that I'm able to then put back into the world. And this is so important to me, being able to put the right energy out there to support my family, to support myself, to support you. I want the energy to be good and I want it to be high vibe. But it's not, and it can't be if I'm constantly drained. So I'm going to be very intentional about where I put my energy this year. More on that in a little while. I'm also going to be very much more intentional about my time. So it's a similar theory, really, isn't it? Where I give my time, my working days. No more of this daily grind nonsense. We're very much conditioned to work. You must work a solid, long day. And if you haven't done enough, then you'll work some more, that sort of thing. No, that is not the approach to have. So my working days need to be properly managed. I'm really bad at it. It's nobody's fault but my own. I set my working hours. I set my own working hours. And yet still, I drain myself. So no more of that. No more of the daily grind. Choose where to give my time. Choose who to give my time to. Being happier saying no to giving people that time. Taking time for me. This is something I've not been very good at. Journaling. I really enjoy journaling. It's a habit that I've got into, but it's also a habit that I've now fallen back out of. So I'm getting that back going again because when I journal, I feel good. It's a good start to the day. It's so good for the mindset for the day. And so I will be doing my journaling every morning again. And I used to bake. I was thinking about this. I used to bake every weekend. I used to make some really, really nice things. And then I got tired and then I had no energy. And then I was working too hard. And even on weekends, I was feeling guilty and saying, right, I really should be working right now. That's what I should be doing with my time. And all the fun things that I used to do that used to really give me some pleasure, those slowly but surely whittled down to not very many things. So I want to get back to the baking. I want to make things. I want to at least once a weekend make something, bake something. Not cooking like your evening meal, baking something lovely. It's not even for me. I cook these things because I like making them, but I'm also a bit of a feeder, so I like to give other people the food. And I get real pleasure out of seeing other people eat something that I've baked. So I'm going to be very intentional about my time this year. I'm going to be really intentional about people and relationships. And that's giving and receiving. Now, I'm a firm believer that people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? So what that means is they either come in and they show you a lesson and they leave, a reason. They come in for a part of your life and then they leave, a season. So, we've all got friends, haven't we, that we've had the best time of our lives with. We spent years with them, but naturally change has happened and maybe you don't see that person anymore. That's not because you've fallen out. It's not because you don't like each other anymore. It's just life has evolved and you now don't share the same spaces. That's not to say you don't get on with them anymore. It just means they're not actively in your life anymore. That's a season, So a reason, a season, or a lifetime. There are people that will be in your life forever. They are destined to be there forever. So people are there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I'm not very good at letting go, right? I'm not very good at letting go of the people that are there for a reason or a season. And I overthink it and I give too much criticism to myself for maybe I let the relationship go or something like that. Or maybe I criticize them for not playing their part. But part of the natural evolution of your lifetime is allowing people to go and welcoming in new relationships. And so I'm going to be really intentional about allowing that to happen this year. I'm going to be really intentional about the people that I spend time with, the people that I spend time talking to or communicating with in some way. I'm not going to give lip service to relationships that are not destined to be in my life any longer. Does that make sense? But equally, this isn't just about letting go. This isn't about removing people from my life. That's not my intention here. My intention is just if something has come to a natural end, then that's fine. I can let that go. But also I'm going to be more intentional about nurturing the relationships that I do have and that are staying. I need to give people more attention where it's due. I need to be more intentional about my marriage. Things just go by, don't they? Day by day by day, the old daily grind, nothing ever changes. And then you look back and you think, God, we've just done the same thing, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, forever. So I'm going to be more intentional about, I don't mean keeping the spark alive. I don't mean that. I just mean I'm going to be more intentional about nurturing the relationships that I have and making sure they're happy and healthy. So that's my marriage. That's my friendships. That's my social activities. That's my business relationships. If somebody is giving value to my life and I can give values to them, I want to nurture that. So that is something I'm going to be very intentional about this year. Money. I need to be more intentional about my money, right? Spending and receiving. I need to be more intentional about the flow of money in my life. I don't have big personal targets that I work to. I'm not one of these people that says, right, at the end of the year, I want to have made £250,000 and here are my goals and this is how I'm going to do it. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel like that is me working hand in hand with the universe. And that is where I'm going to be more intentional this year. I'm going to give more intention to allowing the flow of money. Money in, money out. I'm going to work with the universe on this one. She delivers. She delivers. And I'm going to work with my human design more. I love me some human design. It is so interesting. And I'm going to work with mine more. I'm going to research mine more. I'm going to look at how it serves me more and how it serves you more. So I'm really going to focus on the flow of money and how I can use my human design to help that flow and how I can work with the universe. Kind of hand in hand with that is business, right? Business and offers. I am going to be more intentional this year about what services I offer, about what I charge for those services, about what I don't offer. I've got this thing called my ecosystem. And this is like a little map that I've got of all the products and services that I want when my business is complete. But it's massive. There's so much on there. There is a multitude of stuff on there, from very, very low ticket and free stuff right up to the big coaching packages. But there's a lot on there and it's too much. So I'm going to be really intentional about bringing that down and just having a select set of services that I know serve you, that I know serve my clients, that I know will do the best for you with the options that are available. I want something for everybody. I do want that. But there does not need to be this huge range of things on offer for you. So I'm going to be really intentional about the services that I offer and what I charge for it and how I offer it to you and how available I am to you, that sort of thing. I've been really guilty in the past of always wanting to be available to you and always having something at a price that people can afford. I obviously still want that. I still want to have something for everyone, but I'm not going to burn myself out and I'm not going to rip myself off in the process. So I'm going to be more intentional about what I can offer for you. But for you, this means this is brilliant because it means that I'm going to give you a real quality of service. I'm going to have a select few products, but when you buy them, you are going to get the best from me. You are going to get my time as a person with good energy, with good knowledge, with good advice for you. You are going to get the best version of me and my services rather than me spreading myself really thinly. And it means that I'm only going to expand where I see value. I'm not going to deliver this whole ecosystem. I'm just going to pick the ones that give value. And anything that I add will give value. So in the future, I want to support coaches as well as you. Unless you are a coach, and then that is you. But I want to support the people with the disordered eating habits, with the poor relationship with food, with the bad body image. I want to help people the way I've been helping them with all of that. But I also want to support the coaches that do that work too. Because as a coach doing that work, it's not always easy and there's not always someone you can talk to. And I also want to expand my coaching into other areas too. I want to be available for life coaching. I've worked with some clients that haven't had body image issues, that haven't had eating issues. They have been other issues that they've wanted to work through in their life. And I don't advertise those services at the moment, but I know that I do a good job of it. So to add services like that is really good value. It is really good for me. It is really good for you. So I'm only going to offer the services where I see value now. I'm not going to give out all of these options that are basically any old thing in order to attract people into my world, because that's unnecessary. So I'm going to be really intentional about that. I'm going to be really intentional about developing my services that I offer so that you've got the very best options to choose from and that I can be the best coach then. Hand in hand with this comes more intention around social media. I need to be really, really intentional about where I put my time and what platforms I put them on. I spend a lot of time scrolling through many different accounts because I seem to be everywhere because people say you should be, that sort of thing. But let's face it, I don't love Facebook. I've always said that. I do not like it. I have my group there and it's building quite nicely. It's really nice. If you're in there, I'm so happy that you're there. But you know what? I need the group to be active. So if you're in that Facebook group, I need you to be engaging in there. Because let me tell you, from a coach's perspective, when I'm in there and I'm posting and getting not much response, it's quite disheartening. And I would love to see you guys talking to each other, supporting each other, sharing experiences. I want it to be this really great supportive resource. Right now, I'm not seeing that. So, God, this is a bit honest, isn't it? So this is where I need to be intentional about where I spend my time. So if you guys are in that group, use it. Please use it. Because if I see it as a space that is just sucking my time up, then maybe I won't use it. Maybe I'll just stick to the platforms where I do engage with you. Instagram, I love Instagram because people message me from my stories all the time. People are commenting, they're laughing with me, they're sharing things. It's a really good engaged platform for me. Facebook, my Facebook page, I don't get any interaction with, and the group is just a bit of a lull. So if you want me to keep that group active, then let's use it, guys. Let's really get stuck in there and make it a great space and a useful space. Because if I'm going to be intentional about where I put my time, I'm going to remove my focus from places that just aren't worth my time. Does that make sense? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to go, oh, well, she doesn't love us because we're on Facebook. That is not what I mean. I want that space to be brilliant for you. But I do want you to use it if you're there. Do you know what I mean? Same with LinkedIn. Oh, God, I don't like LinkedIn. I just don't like LinkedIn. But I'm still there. So I need to be really intentional about what I do with LinkedIn and the content that I post there. And maybe I need to make some changes to be able to communicate with the people on LinkedIn differently. Right now, I post quite a lot of stuff that's the same in lots of different platforms. So I need to be more intentional about my posting, what I post and where I post it. I'm also going to be more intentional about what I post across the board. I'm not following trends. I'm not saying what people want me to say anymore. I am not posting the types of posts that are just generic, what is expected of me as an intuitive eating coach, as a body confidence coach. Because I want it to be a more authentic space. I want it to be me. I want it to be honest. I want to talk about what I want to talk about, not what other people want me to say. I don't want to follow trends. I've never done that, in all fairness, but I don't want to follow trends. I want to talk about the stuff that I want. I want you to see me. I want to engage with accounts that I value. So I need to be more intentional about communicating in the same way that I've just asked you to communicate. So the groups that I'm in, I need to either leave or I need to engage with them. And I need to engage with the ones that I value and that give me something, not just ones that are a waste of my time, So I'm going to be much more intentional about my social media this year. I've also started using Threads. I'm going to see how that pans out. I've had a good experience with that the last couple of days. So if you're on there, come and say hi to me. I think I might stick around there for a bit and see what happens. And finally, I'm going to be more proactive, more intentional with my personal development. I am always studying something, but that has done me no favours this year. Back to the time, back to the energy, that sort of thing. I have given it left, right, and center. I have done all the things that have crossed my path because I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. That sounds interesting. I'd like to develop in that. No, that needs to stop. I need to put focus and intention on the right personal development. My coaching qualification comes to an end in just a couple of months. Next month, I think. And automatically, my brain is going, what can I do next? What can I do next? My coaching qualification is bloomin' brilliant. It has given so much to me in my skills as a coach. I need to do more of that. Not just saying yes to everything. I've done courses this year that haven't contributed anything. So I'm going to be more intentional about where I put my self-development time. I'm going to be learning more to support more. I'm going to be developing in areas that helps me develop my ability to support you. So that's where I'm going to be intentional this year. And it might feel like I'm going, boom, here's all the changes. And you might be sat there going, whoa, she means business. But you know what? I do mean business. I love my business. I love what I do for you. This podcast, by the way, is going nowhere. I love my podcast. And it's something I've always been intentional about. I've always given real thought to what I put on here. And that's not going anywhere. But I am going to be intentional in all these other areas of my life. Because I deserve that. And you deserve that. And the people in my life deserve that. So does any of this resonate with you? Do any of these intentions sit with you as well? What do you think? I'd really encourage you to go away now and set some intentions. If you want to get on board with the journaling, by the way, don't forget I've got a journaling membership. So I'll send you a prompt every day of something you can think about. And it's all based around your well-being and your confidence. So the link's in the show notes. You can find that there. But yeah, what are you going to do this year? What are your intentions for the year? What is your word for the year? I'd love to hear it. I'd love you to message me and let me know. I want to know if any of this, sits with you, or it's just me here having a rant all by myself. Well, it's not a rant, is it? But you know what I mean. I'm just, I'm giving you a heads up of things that are going to be on my radar this year. And this is all part and parcel of this honest, authentic me that I was talking about. The person that I'm going to present to you on social media. I've pretty much always done that on the podcast. You've heard some highs and lows of my life this last couple of years. But this needs to spill out into social media more, It needs to be me on my socials. And I want you to be there with me. So that would be lovely. I would really, really love to be in your corner this year. If you are thinking about making some changes to your eating habits, to the way you feel about your body, to becoming more confident overall, I would love to help you. And we can just have a chat about that. I offer a 30-minute free session. We can chat about you, your circumstances. I can give you some actionable tips to take away. 30 minutes with me for free. Have it. I can help you also in other areas of your life. I've said I'm going to be expanding into more generic life coaching as well. If you would like me to coach you, book a free 30-minute discovery session with me. The link is in the show notes. Let's have a chat. I'm not pushy. I'm not going to get all salesy on you. I don't do sales very well. So don't worry. I'm not going to be like, well, you should buy this and you should buy that and you should have this service from me. I can't do that, guys, so don't worry. But come and have a 30-minute session with me. Use the link in the show notes. Book the session now. Take advantage of it. Now is a good time to do that. Now, when you're thinking about how you want your life to be, because that's natural in a new year. When you're thinking about what you want your eating to look like, when you're thinking about your body image and how you want to feel about yourself, how you are going to feel about your well-being. other areas of your life that you want some coaching in, get in touch. Book that discovery session now and let's hit this new year with a bang, shall we? I can't wait to meet you. Now, I'm off to go and be intentional about my evening meal because I am hungry. And there's a pie in the oven. So happy New Year to you. Take care. I can't wait to speak to you soon.